We are live. There we go.
Great. Welcome back, everyone. G Espresso. Hope everyone's doing well. Really excited to share some updates in today's community call. And yeah, we've had an exciting last month at Espresso, and we're gearing up for some even more exciting initiatives over the next month. So we'll be covering all of that and more. I am joined, as usual, by Wit. Hi, Wit, and Mariana as well. Hi, Mariana.
Hey everyone, hey Joe, GM.
You've got the dream team of the Espresso growth and marketing and community and go-to-market team right here. And we'll also have some special guests from Rari Chain and also Rarible later in the call. We'll talk about the Composables NFT mint that the Espresso Foundation is running tomorrow. But yeah, we've got a packed agenda. So before that, this is going to get boring for those of you who've joined the last few calls, but I'm going to reintroduce Espresso again as a reminder of why we're all here, what we're doing. I'm going to talk a little bit about how the Espresso ecosystem is growing. And we're going to do a quick recap on the Layer 3 campaign that we've run over the last month. Thank you to everyone who's participated, and there's going to be more chances to participate over the upcoming weeks. We'll, of course, talk a little bit about the Composables NFT mint, like I mentioned, and do a quick community creator spotlight. So without further ado, let's jump in. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about just why build with blockchains to begin with. I don't know, crypto can have a bad rap sometimes. If you talk to people in your life about crypto who aren't following it as closely as you are, you might get these types of questions of, why do stuff with crypto? Isn't it all scams? Sounds kind of scary to me. It sounds very uncertain and volatile and new. And so I think it's always worth returning to why build with blockchains in general. And then, of course, we'll also talk a little bit about Espresso's vision of what that looks like. So some of you will have seen me give this part of the talk before, but if you go back even 50 years, not that long ago in history, everything was analog, right? It wasn't digital. When you talk to people, okay, maybe you were talking to them on the phone, but more often than not, you were talking to them in person. If you wanted to broadcast something, you had to get it published in a newspaper or in a pamphlet, or literally go and put out a loudspeaker in the town square and say it out loud. All value was also analog. Money would change hands, cash was king. Credit cards really even only came along about 50 years ago. And innovation, of course, was analog as well. Everything was hardware, physical objects. Even the software components that started being developed about 50 years ago, they were still distributed on things like floppy disks and CD-ROMs. And so it was analog. And the fact that all of this was analog meant that it was really hard to stop. It was really hard, practically speaking, to stop speech, to disseminate fake news far and wide. We didn't have the platforms that we have today that allow for censorship. Value, try stopping a cash transaction. Okay, if you're a very powerful government, then you can track down the serial numbers and barcodes on cash, but it's much harder to stop an analog transaction. And same thing with innovation. It was much, much harder to control or to stop innovation from happening when it was all happening on hard drives and in hardware. But over the last 50 years, everything has gone online and become digital. And with that, it's become censorable. So we have platforms like Facebook that now control the dissemination of ideas. We have platforms like PayPal and your local digital banking systems that control and can censor the transactions that you do, the value exchange that you do. Is very different paradigm from cash. And we have things like the Google Play Store and the App Store that control what innovation can happen. They exist as these walled gardens. And so with the technology wave that we're seeing happen today, and really what we're doing here by building with blockchains, is we're creating apps that are both digital and unstoppable. So we're taking the best of the world that we had 50 years ago when everything was analog and therefore very hard to stop or censor, with the best of the world today, which is all digital but easily stopped. And we're making a new combination of these traits and features and things that you might use, like encrypted messaging apps or Bitcoin for value exchange. These are all great examples of things that are digital and unstoppable. And then Ethereum for innovation. I really do believe Ethereum is the app store of the future. And what we're doing here is superpowering Ethereum. To put it succinctly, we at Espresso in this community, we believe that blockchains are the best tools for innovation that humanity has because they're unstoppable and also because they're composable. They can easily be built off of each other and fit together, and they're permissionless. So anyone can come in and build anything without having to ask for permission or go through a sign-up flow. And that is a really unique part of what it means to build with blockchains. So why build with Espresso? Well, today, especially in the Ethereum ecosystem, we live in a multi-chain world. We're no longer just building on single blockchains. In the future, everyone will have their own chain. Your local bank will have their own chain. Your favorite social media apps will have their own chain. You may have your own chain for your own community and your own ecosystem. That's the world that we're moving to. There are different visions of this that exist as well. If any of you ever go in and play with Solana, that's very much a single chain with many applications on it. But I believe that where we're going is multi-chain. And in order to support a multi-chain environment, you need a technology stack like Espresso. And specifically why you need that is because you need a foundation for all of these different chains to be able to work seamlessly with each other. And so we've designed Espresso to be infrastructure that's fast enough for everyone to use, secure enough for anyone to trust, and serve as that foundation for a composable ecosystem of unstoppable chains. Espresso, as you all know, is about 80 official contributors around the world. Many of them work at either the Espresso Foundation or Espresso Systems, which are the two main contributors, but there are also more. We three and the artists there, it's a collective of designers. They're the ones who are bringing us the NFT mint that we'll talk about later today. And there's others as well contributing on the engineering side, the design side, and more. The ecosystem has raised about 60 million in funds from funds like A16Z in Silicon Valley and beyond. We've got about 20 chains committed to integrating Espresso, and we'll talk more about ecosystem growth here in a few minutes. And we've got about 6 bridges that are committed to integrating Espresso. So that's me, Espresso, if there are any Sabrina Carpenter fans in the audience here. What is Espresso? How does it work? We talk about it as a confirmation layer. Again, this middle section here, this middle block, the Espresso network, this is the foundation that I'm talking about. The L2s that live on top of it, aka rollups, these are the chains that leverage it. And then, of course, this is all settling to the L1, in this case, Ethereum. So just a quick refresher on what it is and how it works. So the Espresso roadmap, in our last community call about a month ago, we talked about a huge milestone we'd hit, which was upgrading to proof of stake on decaf. Proof of stake is a huge milestone. It's what will decentralize Espresso. It's what will make it actually be unstoppable and neutral in such a way that it can support any chain. Any chain will be able to come in and use it. Anyone will be able to build on Espresso, and all of these chains will be able to work together as one. So proof of stake is a huge, huge milestone. We've had mainnet live since last November. It's been in production. It has real rollups running on it, real transactions being confirmed. You can go to our block explorer and check it out. But proof of stake is what will make it truly permissionless and decentralized. And so this is where we are. As I mentioned, we've been live with mainnet. The Espresso network has been live, but in a permissioned setting. So it's been sort of preset number of nodes running it since November. In January, we started supporting live Arbitrum chains integrating. In April, we did the permissionless proof of stake upgrade and started getting bridges integrated, starting with our partners over at Hyperlane and message passing protocol. In May, we've just about gotten there to get the OP stack integrations live with us, which we're really excited about. And in the summertime, we're expecting to do the full permissionless proof of stake upgrade on mainnet, which will be awesome. And then beyond that, where we're headed, we are going to keep pushing on decentralization. We want to be able to support thousands of nodes, and we're targeting first 2-second latency and then sub-second latency. And the reason why this matters so much is because Espresso is all about composability across chains, which has everything to do with how quickly you can get transactions to move across chains. No one is going to sit around and wait for 12, 15 minutes that it takes for Ethereum to confirm transactions to move across chains. And so we need to make that waiting period as short as possible. So today we're looking at about 6 seconds. Again, tomorrow we're hoping to get to 2 seconds and then sub-second. And we've got plans to get there that we'll talk about more in another call. So the Espresso ecosystem, we've got a bunch of new chain integrations, which we are so excited about. Let's see, I'm going to skip ahead for a second. We've got Rari Chain, which we'll hear from Yana in a few minutes, who is from the Rari Foundation. Absolutely awesome team focused on the NFT ecosystem, of course. And they were the first ones to integrate with us. They were the first ones to start building and bootstrapping the Espresso ecosystem. But since then, we've had more chains integrate. So LogX is now live. They are a DeFi protocol focused on perpetuals. I would encourage everyone to go check it out. We're going to have Molten Network, AppChain, and ApeChain all live soon. These are all amazing applications, and I would really encourage everyone to go check them out. For those of you who participated in some of the campaigns around the Composables NFT drop with ETH Cash is powered by AppChain, so I'll highlight them in that way. And ApeChain, many of you probably also are familiar with, especially those of you deep in the NFT space. And Molten, again, I would encourage everyone to go check out. We rolled out, or specifically the Espresso Foundation, we were supportive of it at Espresso Systems, rolled out last month the Espresso Partner Program. This is a way for the Espresso Foundation to reward these chains who are early adopters of the Espresso network, not just these 5 chains, but the more chains to come in the pipeline who will be integrating Espresso. So this is a grants program, and I'm excited to share with the community that we're working with many of these chains on how to get those grants into the hands, not just of the chains themselves, but also the community members, the users, and the developers in the ecosystems of those chains. So there's more information out there on the Espresso Foundation website on this. I'd encourage everyone to go check it out. And we'll go back. I'll hand it over to Mariana, who has been running point on the Layer 3 campaign, to give us some details on that. Mariana, just let me know when you want me to go to the next slide.
Thank you, Jill. It was amazing reintroduction again on Espresso and all updates on our ecosystem and partners as well. So as most of you have known or seen in our Twitter or announcements, we started like 2 weeks ago our Layer 3 campaign that is pretty much a reintroduction of Espresso, showcasing our ecosystem as well, but also not only the partners, but also our community that counts with like the hackathon projects that we had from Build and Brill, and also some piece of the Cafe creators or creators program that is just helping to spread out the word about composability and Espresso. So Jill, if you can just pass to the next slide, we're just going to showcase a little bit of the results so far we have been having. So Brewing the Future is the name of our campaign. It's a 6-week campaign to really explore why composability matters, rediscover Espresso, and meet all the ecosystem. Right now, we already run the first week of the campaign that was talking about what is Espresso, why do we need a confirmation layer. So the first week is still open if anyone wants to access. is just entering the site of layer3.xyz. When you go to campaigns, just search like Bring the Future. Right now we are in the phase 2, so the campaign has 3 phases. Phase 1 is just a brief introduction of Espresso. Phase 2 is all about our ecosystem. So we had week 2 with Rari in Arbitrum. Week 3 that we launched yesterday, we are having LogX in Caldera, and we have more 2 partners to be revealed soon next week. For the last phase, that is the brewers, we're just going to be showcasing the top 5 projects on Build and Brew Hackathon, the hackathon that we run for almost 1 month in March, and few of the best of our Cafe creators. So far in this 2 weeks and a half, we had 504,000 participants. Just in the Arbitrum Quest, we had 315K in participants, almost 300K wallets interacting with GMX. If no one knows, GMX is the leading perp DEX on Arbitrum 1. It's also available in Avalanche as well. And we were just incentivizing, as GMX is coming with a very strong cross-chain UX and a multi-chain future. We thought was a good idea to also incentivize activity on GMX, as they are prioritizing this as part of the roadmap. On Rari chain, and soon we're going to talk a little bit more about Rari, we had 330,000 users interacting with Rari requests, and almost or even more than $6.5 million bridged to Rari. A lot of those were also expecting or preparing for our upcoming NFT mint that Gil's going to talk a little bit more in detail soon, the Composables. And yesterday we had live this week Caldera and LogX. Caldera, pretty much we are incentivizing people to be part of the meta layer future. So they have this slogan, just scale it. So if you want to be part of the meta layer future, you can get your .era domain following the instructions of the quest. And LogX, as you just mentioned, is our newest chain and also an amazing DeFi app. And we're incentivizing a total volume of $100 in trading activity on LogX. I think there's more to come. We have in total rewards 50K for this campaign. But I think the most important is really like setting the tone about the narrative, where Espresso is playing, how is our ecosystem, showcasing our partners, and especially our community. So feel free to send us feedback on our Discord or Twitter or any of these places. The campaign is going to be live for more 3 weeks, so you feel free to join us, participate on the campaign, and be part of this. I can pass to Wit or Jill or whoever is next, and I'm also glad to answer any question on the Layer 3 campaign.
Awesome. Thanks, Mariana. I think that this is a great segue into what we're going to talk about next, which is the Composables NFT drop. We are so excited that this is happening tomorrow, and we want to talk for a few minutes to make sure that everyone is prepared to mint. So maybe we can get Yana and Jonathan on stage. These are our partners here coming from Rarible and Rari Chain. Yana, awesome. Welcome. Do you want to introduce yourself?
GM. My name is Yana Bertram. I run strategy and the team at Rari Foundation, and we work with the Rari DAO. For those of you who are in the NFTs, you probably remember Rarible. You might be still trading on Rarible, or you might have entered the NFT space through Rarible. The Rarible protocol, which is essentially the back of the platform, is fully decentralized and it's run by the DAO. We have since then launched Rari Chain that the Espresso team mentioned, is actually the first Arbitrum orbit to go live on mainnet, and we're also the first chain who integrated Espresso, and we're really excited to be able to host this upcoming drop and just bring the utility of Espresso fast confirmations to life through this collaboration. And with that, also, kind of open a chapter of what these composables might be doing in their multi-chain future as well. So very keen to do this collaboration and excited to be here and speak about this upcoming drop.
Awesome. Thank you, Yana. Yana has been an amazing partner, not just with this drop, but all the way along. As I mentioned, Rari Chain was the first to integrate with Espresso and the first to really start us bootstrapping the ecosystem. And we couldn't be more thrilled with that. Our partnership has been an amazing foundation for the beginning of the Espresso ecosystem.
Yeah.
So
thank you, Jill. I actually should also mention like what makes Rari Chain a good destination.
Please.
For NFTs.
Yes.
So when I mentioned like we were early in the Arbitrum Orbit game, we were also, at least to my knowledge, and so far nobody has actually just told me I'm wrong yet, so I'll just go with this as a statement that's true. We were also the first chain that launched with royalty enforcement mechanism, where essentially the sequencer only validates transactions that obey royalties, which is, great news for creators and people who make living in creator economy, because essentially their royalties are guaranteed by the architecture of the blockchain. So it's not necessarily a benevolence of a single actor, essentially. It's really core proposition of the entire ecosystem. And the chain is soon to be fully governed by the DAO as well. We're actually in last steps of doing our governance upgrade and moving the whole DAO to the Rari chain. So essentially everything is decentralized and there is no single actor that will be able to circumvent royalties. So I think with that, it's also interesting for projects and for creators to be using that chain as a platform for ensuring that NFTs get their royalties respected.
I love it. This is one of the things that has excited me most. I think that, again, decentralization is the reason why we use blockchains. It's to make things be unstoppable, composable, permissionless. And I think that Rari Chain is a prime example of that. So I'm going to give some details now on the NFT mint. This is all public. Everyone should know this already, but we're just going to do a quick recap here. And we might have Jonathan from Rarible join us here in a few minutes, which I'm excited about. So as an overview, again, the name of the collection is the Composables. This is paying respect to the fact that really what Espresso is and is about is an ecosystem of composable chains. What this means is that the chains can all work together as one. Applications can be built off of each other. They can be combined and remixed together. And we are so excited to have a collection that features art that really shows that. There are all of these different traits within the composables, and they can be combined and remixed together, just like the chains and the applications in our ecosystem. And even more importantly, the NFTs, the plan is for them to serve as a demo of the Espresso technology as well. So the mint, of course, is happening on Rari Chain, but the plan is for the NFTs to be able to migrate from chain to chain. And we're planning for there to be special POAPs or passport stamps, etc., perhaps evolution of the NFTs themselves as you move them across chains in the Espresso ecosystem, which we're so excited about. There will be 5,000 in total supply. The mint price is 0.0359 ETH. If you look closely at it, 359 looks a little bit like ESP, so that's where that number comes from. And the mint date, of course, is tomorrow. So make sure that you look at the times. We expect this to mint out quite quickly. You want to be online at the time that you are trying to mint. Again, Rari is going to be the home of the composables. You want to make sure that you have ETH on Rari chain to participate. You can't just have ETH on the Ethereum L1. You can't just have ETH on Arbitrum 1. You need to get ETH into Rari chain. So we've published some instructions. We'll be tweeting out from the Espresso Systems Twitter account here with a mint guide. But you need to make sure that you've bridged ETH to Rari chain and you've bridged enough to pay for gas fees, etc., to make sure that you can have the 0.0359 ETH in your Rari chain wallet in order to mint. You should also keep in mind that because Rari chain is an optimistic rollup, there will be a 7-day period before any withdrawals from the chain can be finalized. So you'll want to take that into account here as well. So there are going to be a few phases. The prototypers, these are the original PFPs that I kind of randomly handed out to people who expressed enthusiasm on Twitter. This is going back like 4 months, back in February. The lucky people who asked for a PFP then and got it, you will be getting your PFP and your NFT here for free, and you will be getting sent that next week. So if you are a prototyper, you don't need to worry about it. You don't need to do anything right now. You don't actually even need to go in and mint tomorrow. Don't worry if you go on and you find that you can't mint. I will be making sure that the Espresso Foundation sends you the NFT next week from their wallet. Those will be pre-minted to the Espresso Foundation wallet. Then the official phase 1 is the guaranteed allow list. This is happening at 1 p.m. Universal Time, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, New York time tomorrow. This is the guaranteed mint for phase 1 allow list holders. You still have to log in and mint. You still have to be online at the right time. You still have to buy the NFT, but there will definitely be enough NFTs to go around for this phase. Phase 2 will happen 3 hours later, so starting at noon New York time or 4 p.m. Universal time. And phase 2 allow list holders, it will be first come, first serve. This phase is going to be over allocated, so not everyone is guaranteed mint. We encourage you to be online at the right time. And then the final phase is a public mint, and we will be reserving 1,000 NFTs for public mint. We want to make sure that people who were not aware of this, were not aware of the campaigns to be able to get on the allow list, have a shot. And so it's very important to us. Big part of Espresso is about permissionless, open accessibility. It's very important to us to reserve some for public mint. We are taking measures to try to avoid bots. If you are thinking of running a bot, please don't do it. That's not what we're about. We will not be very happy if we find out that that you've run a bot and you've tried to snipe a bunch of NFTs, but we're also confident from our friends at Rarible that we've taken good measures to try to avoid this. So this will open, the public mint will open at 2 p.m. Eastern time or 6 p.m. Universal time, and it will be open to everyone until it's sold out. With that, I want to introduce Jonathan, our partner at Rarible. Jonathan has been instrumental in running and figuring out what this campaign will look like. And Jonathan, yeah, I would love for you to chime in and share a little bit of your perspective on the Composables.
Hey guys, nice to be here. Super excited to be hosting this mint on Rarible. Yeah, Espresso has been a strong partner of the Rari Foundation and now Rarible over the past months, and we're excited to have this be on Rari Chain as well. I think this is like one of the largest Rari Chain drops that we're having on Rarible too, and it's really going to be telling the same story alongside what Espresso is, and being able to be a partner in that is really important for us. So at Rarible, you know, we basically want to be the go-to place for any types of drops that are happening. I lead all of the primary drops that happen on all of our different marketplaces, and to have like a very hyped and exciting PFP drop coming to Rarible is an important one for us, especially for a brand and you know, big player in the space like Espresso, and being able to kind of collab over these last months and what it's looking like has been an honor. And yeah, really excited for mint tomorrow. For those that, you know, have questions, keep them coming. Feel free to comment on any of our posts as well. We want to make sure we're answering all the questions that you guys may have. But definitely, you know, confident on what the mint is going to look like, and, you know, the way that we're pushing this forward.
Awesome. Yeah, Jonathan has been absolutely key to this, as has Yana. I'm so excited to be able to introduce them here to the community. They are core leaders in the community, and we are just thrilled to be able to partner with them on this and bring this to you all. So I want to remind everyone, there have been many paths to get onto the allow list. It has been a tireless effort by the team here to make sure that we got all of your wallets. We've had to collect them through many different avenues, and we have done our absolute best to make sure that this is a fair, accessible, and exciting drop and to make sure that those who have been following Espresso and following the community and also supporting the apps and chains that are live on Espresso, that they have been rewarded with either a guaranteed mint or an over-allocated Allowlist spot. We have put up an address checker. It has been a long process to be able to get all of the addresses in there. Again, I want to emphasize the team here has been working all night for many nights in a row to be able to get this up and running. We're going to do one last update here in the next hour or so to the Allowlist checker, and you should be able to check there and make sure that your address is on there. If it's not and you think it should be, please tag us on Twitter or tag us in Discord, and we will do our best, our very best to respond and make sure that we've got you. Yeah, we are so excited about this, and we've really, really done our best to be inclusive and get everyone on here. And stay tuned on Twitter for any final announcements and for the publication of the Mint Guide. I again just want to emphasize, please be online at the right time tomorrow if you want to mint, and make sure, as we talked about, you have ETH on Rari chain in order to participate. We will also do our best to be online from our side to answer any questions live on Twitter or in our Discord. Finally, last thing for today, I want to put a quick spotlight on one of the creators in our community. It's been really exciting to see the work being created by community members that are riffing off of the Composables NFT collection. Shout out, of course, as well to the original artist of the NFT collection, Martin from We3 Collective. This is going to be his PFP and his NFT. He's created beautiful work. One of the beautiful things of composability is the fact that anyone can build off of it and anyone can come in and create anything. Maujek, you're not even officially yet part of the Caffeinated Creators Program or anything like this, but we appreciate that you've come in. You've created this beautiful deck of cards based on the art that Martin created for the Composables. And it's been so fun and exciting and motivating for those of us on the team to follow along with whatever you create next every day for the last couple of weeks. So thank you for that. And we look forward to seeing more creations like this come out of the community.
Maujek has also created 2 whole emoji packs, Espresso related.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
For our Discord.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Cool.
So that's all we've got for today. We can stay on for a few more minutes. And if there are any specific questions or concerns, especially about tomorrow's mint, we're happy to speak to them. I know I can see in the chat that there are some people concerned about the 1,000 reserved for the public round. Right. We do really feel like it's important for people to have the chance to get in, even if they were not selected for the allow list. There was a large element of luck in the allow list. And so we want to make sure that those who were not selected for that also have the chance. I see a question about times. It'll be 9 a.m. New York time for the guaranteed and noon New York time for the priority list. So please adjust to your time zone, 1 p.m. UTC and 4 p.m. UTC. And then the public mint will be 3 hours later, 2 p.m. New York or 6 p.m. UTC.
Right. I have a few more questions. You want to, if we pop them up?
Yeah, take it away, Whit.
Here's one. Jill, do you want to answer that?
Yeah. So if you have one address that was whitelisted for the POAP, for example, and one that was whitelisted, and the same address that was whitelisted for Cato voting, then you will have 2 mints. Yes. So if your address is on there twice, then you will get 2 mints. I checked through it last night, and there's no address that came in through that avenue that has more than 3 mints. So I feel pretty good about that it's not like there's going to be one address with 12 mints or something like this, the max that anyone will have. And there's only very few addresses in this category that will have 3.
And also on the 1,000 for public, I mean, there's still, there's questions about, anti-bot measures and that sort of thing, but, it's still one NFT per wallet. So there is, it's not, one bot won't be able to grab them all with one wallet, but I don't know if there's any other these are some other anti-bot measures that were mentioned. I don't know if Jonathan, if you can comment on those, or if that is.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's spot on. Yeah, happy to comment. I think that's spot on. I think, from my point of view, I always believe that there should be a public mint. I'll stick by that very strongly. Through my times helping mints be created and minting myself, I've minted plenty of mints in the public spots as an individual before. You just have to be fast, right? But I think, the way that we have it set up, you have to obviously sign your message. There's one per wallet. The price point of being what it is, like it's not going to be easy for bots, but we want to make sure that we have some measures in place through the various allow lists that we have beforehand, through the public mint itself, so we can, obviously give as many people the opportunity to mint as possible.
Cool. And maybe you can answer the question up on the screen. There's other anti-bot measures like delaying contract address disclosure, rotating the mint address before launch. I'm not saying that you're prepared to answer that, but I'm throwing it out there in case you are.
Yeah, no worries. The mint page is live, so the contract is there, so we aren't delaying the contract, and we won't be rotating the mint address.
Okay, got it. That's what that means. And then this, I think we've answered the answer to how much NFTs per wallet max. I mean, it's like one mint, per wallet, unless you're unless you got multiple whitelist spots. But that second part, will it be transferable? The answer is yes to that. These are not soul bound. So there will obviously be a marketplace for these, which you'll be able to find. So on Jonathan, for whatever the marketplace after the fact, people should just go to this page, or will it be a different page? How are they?
It'll be a collection page. Once they start being minted, you would be able to, for example, click the link of the name itself, or go into the activity, or even search in the search bar. We'll also have it live on the homepage as well, on the banner. So you'll be able to have access to the collection page and find your favorite composable that you want to PFP. Awesome.
All right. Yeah.
The website is live. I see some people saying that they can't load the mint page. There were some issues with it last night, but it's live now. Maybe we can pop it in the chat, but rarible.com/the-composables/drops. So you can check it out there.
I'm just going through this and see if I missed any other questions. But I think, a lot of people feel
awesome.
Yeah, I think it's all the
Great.
questions.
I think we can wrap it up there. We'll be on Twitter and in Discord. And again, we'll have the Allowlist checker updated and finalized in the next hour or so. So please do go in and check the addresses that you think are relevant. And then please also go in and check the mint guide that we'll be publishing to Twitter here very shortly. Make sure you have ETH on Rari chain and that you're ready to go. We really want as many people as possible who are excited about this to be able to participate.
And if you do run into issues, I mean, X is obviously one place, but we also, on our Discord, we do have you're able to open a ticket on our Discord. And so if you do run into issues, that is also an avenue to get in touch with us.
And from the Rarible perspective, we have the full team on deck tomorrow, ready for all the phases. So if there's any issues, technical issues, questions, we'll be able to support pretty quickly. So excited for it.
Cool. All right. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you all.
Thank you all. Excited for
Bye.
tomorrow.
Bye.
See you guys.